Trump is expected to present Iran with a last-chance offer. If such an offer is made, it will be based on the American principle of zero uranium enrichment. The Jerusalem Post. It is in the U.S. interest to support Israel in its quest to dismantle Iran's nuclear program. Netanyahu ABC. Israel and Iran continue to exchange strikes. Iran has promised a massive response, but so far is only launching a few missiles each without using ballistics. Trump urged U.S. citizens to evacuate Iran immediately. Trump leaves G7 summit early due to escalation in Middle East. U.S. has notified several allies in the Middle East that it has no plans to attack Iran if it doesn't hit Americans. Axios. U.S. forces take defensive posture in Middle East. Washington seeks peaceful resolution to Iran. Pentagon Chief Pete Hegseth resolution banning Trump from hitting Iran without authorization from U.S. Congress introduced in Senate. Trump suggested Witkoff and Vance meet with Iran officials this week. NYT. Trump is convinced an agreement with Iran will be signed. Trump said he is not yet imposing sanctions on Russia in hopes of a deal on Ukraine. Because I'm waiting to see if an agreement will be signed, Trump said. Trump also said that Western sanctions against Russian Federation are costing the U.S. billions of dollars. Macron claims to have received relatively positive signals from Trump in terms of tougher anti-Russian sanctions. Trump on sanctions against Russia: let Europe do it and see how it works. It's not that simple. It is possible that Iran has started to close the Strait of Hormuz. Some experts believe Iran's Press TV reports that 3 oil tankers in the Sea of Oman experienced a fire as they approached the Strait of Hormuz. Up to 30% of the world's LNG shipments and up to 20% of global exports of oil and oil products pass through the Strait of Hormuz. Trump will hold an emergency meeting of the National Security Council today to discuss the U.S. position on the situation in the Middle East. Not only was Iran not actively working on a nuclear weapon, it was still at least 3 years away from being able to produce and deliver one to its chosen target. CNN. The cost of shipping in Middle Eastern waters is rising rapidly due to concerns over the Gulf of Hormuz. Freight rates and other costs are rising rapidly. Bloomberg. Shipping groups begin avoiding the Strait of Hormuz due to the escalating conflict between Israel and Iran. CNBC. Trump ramps up pressure on Iran, heightening fears U.S. will join conflict. Bloomberg. Mertz. If Iran doesn't back down, the complete destruction of Iran's nuclear program is on the agenda, something Israel cannot achieve alone. EC Chief von der Leyen confirmed that the US and EU have agreed on a July 9 deadline for trade talks. The US is moving an aircraft carrier group led by the USS Nimitz to the Middle East to protect military personnel in the region, the Pentagon says. Ukraine has taken the first step toward realizing a mineral deal with the US. Kiev has begun preparing a tender to develop the country's largest lithium deposit, Dobra, which is located in central Ukraine's Kirovohrad region. NYT. Tensions between OpenAI and Microsoft have reached a boiling point. OpenAI, increasingly frustrated with its partner, is considering filing antitrust complaints against Microsoft with regulators. Wall Street Journal. Meta could launch smart glasses this week. The EU has refused to hold a flagship economic meeting with Beijing ahead of next month's leaders' summit due to a lack of progress in trade disputes. FUT. Japan, CB rate equals 0.5%. Bank of Japan to slow down reduction in government bond purchases from April 2026 due to rising risks to the economy. Gas prices in Europe have risen to a 3-month high amid escalation in the Middle East. Citi notes lower demand for gold, expects lower gold prices in coming months. Republican senators have proposed a tax and budget bill that would repeal a $7,500 tax credit on new electric vehicles 180 days after the bill is signed into law, and repeal a $4,000 tax credit on used electric vehicles 90 days after the bill is approved. Drivers are increasingly less willing to switch from internal combustion engines to electric vehicles, a trend more pronounced in Europe than in the US, a Shell survey. Amazon Prime Day 2025 will take place July 8 to 11th and will last for days instead of the usual 2 days. Amazon Prime Day equals annual sales, discounts, sometimes record sales during the event. Canada and the US could finalize a trade deal within 30 days. Carney's press office following his meeting with Trump at the G7 summit. 95% of global central banks surveyed plan to increase their gold reserves over the next 12 months, New World Gold Council WGC survey. Airbus has received an order from Vietjet for 100 A321 narrow-body aircraft at the Paris Air Show. This is the second big order in 2 days. Trump's $499 smartphone will likely be made in China, CNBC. Due to low demand, Tesla will suspend Model Y and Cybertruck assembly for a week starting July 4, Business Insider. Pump fund platforms' Twitter accounts are blocked. Polyhedra Network may launch buyback, CEO. Sentiment highlights strong growth in XRP ledger activity as well as significant growth in network. On Sunday, June 15, Wales bought $2.5 billion worth of ETH at once, equals largest daily inflow since 2018, Glassnode. Today, the U.S. Senate will hold a final vote on the Genius Act Stackcoin bill. This will be the last vote before the bill goes to the House of Representatives. Many investment houses from the crypto industry see the passage of regulation on stackable coins as the strongest driver for the crypto industry and crypto markets. Canadian company Universal Digital starts buying BTC for balance sheet. Eric Trump said he is a big fan of Justin Sun and his crypto project Tron, but denied media reports that he is involved with Tron Inc. Coinbase CEO meets with UK politicians in London to discuss crypto bus-ins. Cantor Fitzgerald, the SOL token makes sense as a treasury asset for companies and as such is more suitable than the more common ETH. One reason is the significant growth in the number of developers on SOL, which has already surpassed the growth in the number of developers on ETH. Wallets with 10-plus BTC balances have been actively accumulating BTC since late May, Sentiment data. Genius Group bought 34 BTC for its balance sheet. Thailand's cabinet has approved a bill to exempt income tax on crypto gains if held for more than 5 years. Bank of America ranked BTC among the most disruptive innovations of the millennium. DDC Enterprise to raise another $530 million to buy BTC for balance sheet. Agent Labs unveiled Agent Cloud for ETH restacking. The project has secured $70 million in backing from A16Z. Novogratz Galaxy and Liquid Collective will begin providing liquid ETH staking capabilities to institutions. UK-based TAO Alpha plc begins buying BTC on balance sheet. Fold Holdings starts buying BTC on balance sheet. Aggregate market cap of stablecoins surpassed the $250 billion mark, equals a record. Coinbase seeks US SEC approval to launch tokenized stock trading. On Monday, US spot Bitcoin ETFs recorded net inflows of $412.2 million for the sixth consecutive day of gains. Cumulative inflows now total $46.04 billion. Inflows continue despite rising geopolitical tensions between Iran and Israel.